block punishment is a core skill in defensive play. Not only can you dissuade your opponent from throwing out their most damaging attacks, but also it's a good way to start your own offense. So how does it work? A move is considered punishable when it recovers so slowly that an opponent can get guaranteed damage after blocking them. But before I get too much into it, it's important to understand how we measure speed in fighting games. In fighting games, we measure time by frames. One frame is 1 second divided by 60. Your one jab is generally the fastest move you have. You could say that it takes 0.166 seconds for your character to extend their hand, but it just makes more sense to say 10 frames. Or that the move has a 10 frame startup. If you have frame data open on training mode, you can see it right here. With that in mind, look at down to 3 from Brian. If you block this move, your character finishes the block animation 10 frames before Brian finishes his. We say that that move is -10 on block. Again, you can see right here. So if you can move 10 frames before Brian, and a jab is 10 frames, if you hit him with a quick 1-2, that's 100% guaranteed. And training mode actually lets you know that it was a punish. Another example is back 1-2 from Paul. This move is -14, so it's the same as before. A quick 1-2 works fine. Back 1-2 itself starts at 12 frames, so that also works. Forward 2 starts at 14 frames and needs a hit engager. That works too. And Paul actually has a 14 frame launcher with back 3. That also works. So basically, anything up to how minus the move is going to be guaranteed after a block. How do you know if a move is punishable? If you go on training mode, you can set the opponent to block and do the move. If a move is more than -10, it's punishable. But you should be especially on the lookout for moves that are -15 or more, as most characters can get a whole combo from them. We call them launch punishable. Now, you're probably thinking, does that mean you have to go on training mode and remember every single move of every single character? No, but also yes. Sure, that's one way to approach it, but the game actually gives you a lot of tools to get started. Inside training mode, there is the punishment training section that you can go to get a quick overview of which moves can be punished for that character. That's a good place to start, especially for characters you already have trouble or you just don't like fighting against.
One more thing, Eugene, give me that. If I ever find one of these lying around again, I swear to fucking God, I will stop being so polite. Get the fuck out of my sight before I demolish you.
From my personal experience, things get easier with time. The more you play, you start to get used to how moves are balanced. So sometimes you're gonna see a move and just think to yourself, hey, that looks punishable. Then you just start trying and figuring things out mid-match. I haven't done any training against Azucena or Victor, but I already punished a couple things from them, just out of trial and error. Another question you might have is, which moves I'm supposed to use to punish? Again, you can figure that out by looking at the startup of your moves on the training mode, or by watching other players, but I'm actually going to link on the pinned comment a Google Doc that gives you a quick overview of which moves you should be using. And lastly, you also have to remember that fighting games are a marathon, not a race. Even the top level players don't punish everything perfectly all the time. And while the whole thing may seem intimidating, knowing how to punish 2 or 3 key moves of each character can go a long way. Now, if you noticed, this is only half of it. I only talked about standing punishes. So on the next video, we're gonna talk about how to punish lows and how to evade highs using while standing moves. So we can finally punish those pesky hell sweeps and dragon tails that we keep fighting online. So don't forget to do the like button, and I'll see you on the next video.